You know, I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm a huge proponent of buying used products. As far as I'm concerned, they usually offer the exact same experience at a significantly or even just marginally reduced price. Whatever the manufacturer's MSRP or whatever the store wants to sell it at when it's brand new, you're like, okay, well, if I want it now and it's new and hopefully there's some type of warranty, blah, 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 then yeah, it might be in your best interest to buy it new if that's what you want. But for me, I usually look at what I'm buying and say, hey, is it worth what the company is charging as if it were new? In addition to asking you to subscribe, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, Clover Valley Potato Crisp. Now, normally I just have one canister of or one item of whatever I'm talking about, but in this situation, I have 3, and they're empty because I ate all 3 of them. Every time I bought one, I said, you know what? I want to talk about these, and I want to show myself eating them. And I would sit there and just eat the entire canister. They are good. Pringles are trash. Just like one of my other videos, I talked about companies not putting enough flavoring on their products. When you have Big Chip, they own the market. So they really start to skimp on the ingredients. Clover Valley, found at Dollar General, is not skimping on the ingredients. These sour cream and onion potato crisps are amazing. Now, I will say, there used to be another brand at Dollar General, I believe, called Good and Plenty or something like that. And that brand, I believe, is Dollar General's attempt of being healthy. I started eating these when they were the Good and Plenty brand, and I was like, there's no way these are healthy. And I'm sure somebody else realized that and said, we need to rebrand those because we might either get sued or we just don't want to be as misleading as we actually are. I have no idea. But I'm glad that they came back because they disappeared from shelves for quite a while. So I'm glad that they're here. And as you can see, in a week, I am happy to say that I've consumed a bunch of them, while equally sad to say that I ate them so fast. So consider some Clover Valley sour cream and onion potato crisp. And usually the answer is no. So then I wait and then see what's available online. And my preferred online store of choice is eBay. Talked about that plenty of times. Talked about some good experiences and some bad experiences. And here, it's a overall good experience. So 2 years ago now, wow, yeah, it's been 2 years because it was December of 2022, I purchased a Dell Precision 5470. And here we see the name of this review for creativeblog.com, cool, whatever, is Dell Precision 5470, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but I still use this computer weekly, not every day, because I have a work computer, and usually I'm at work. And I have other machines to do other things when I'm not using a Windows machine, such as this MacBook Pro, which I just made a video about. But here, if you're considering this machine or even a newer version of this machine, we can see that their verdict is many but mighty. The Dell Precision 5470 might not look like much, but its compact design, excellent battery life, and incredible power make it arguably one of the best mobile workstations around. Cool. Then for the pros, it's extremely powerful, high portability, exceptional battery life, robust, sleek design, and against limited ports. Now, in 2025, I gotta be honest, get over it. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me to get over the fact that the headphone jack's no longer on many cell phones, but for limited port, it's like, okay, for this Dell Precision, you have what? Does this one show it? And this is a newer version, but essentially it's the same thing. So you have a headphone jack, 2 USB-C ports, which I believe are both Thunderbolt insert version of whatever year the product came out. I believe mine has Thunderbolt 3 ports. A smart card reader, which mine does. I don't know if that's mandatory or optional, but mine does have a smart card reader. And on this side, you have a micro SD card slot and 2 more Thunderbolt ports, along with the Kensington lock. So yes, I understand that there are limited ports, but USB-A exists. I still use it. Heck, the microphone that I'm using right now has a micro USB connection on the bottom of the microphone itself, and that goes to a USB-A connection on the other end of the cable. And then since this MacBook doesn't have the USB-A ports, I now have a little dongle. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Sure. I mean, not really much else I can do. So USB-A, HDMI, full card SD card, which I think that would have been nice, but micro, whatever. It's like, hey, yes, dongles exist. This machine, even though, like I said, I'm using a dongle, I could have connected the microphone to the dock, because that still has USB-A ports on it that this Mac is connected to. And then I wouldn't need any dongles. And at that point, if you are stationary, hopefully you have some type of dock, whether it's a third-party aftermarket one or if it's a proprietary one that comes specifically for your machine. So limited ports, I'm okay without USB-A and HDMI because there are ways to transfer whatever type of data you need over USB-C. Cool. So then we come to their review over here. Bottom line, the Dell Precision 5470 is a 14-inch laptop workstation that packs a punch, but you give up some performance to get its class-leading mobility and battery life. So here the pros are thin and light, 14-inch design, all-day battery life, great-looking high-res 16 by 10 touchscreen. I don't think mine has a touchscreen. One of my Precisions does, and I always forget because I accidentally touched the screen. I'm like, oh yeah, it is a touchscreen. It is a touchscreen. Up to 4 terabytes of storage. I don't really know if that it's like a true hard stop or if that's just the highest you can configure it on Dell's website. Honestly, not sure. But then the cons are lackluster workstation performance. For what I need to do is fine. I will say, the very first video I ever made about this machine, I noted the fact that the fans would just kick up to the point where something like this I just could not do. So my microphone would pick up all the fan noise because those things can get rather loud. And because it's so thin, there might be some other thermal limitations. And adapter required for common ports. Yes. Which, again, get over it. Get over it. That's all I can say. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, 4 USB-C ports is enough. Yes, you might need a dongle or you might need to buy a new cable for whatever devices you're using or something. Like, heck, I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could probably find a micro USB to USB-C cable. I'm not going to look for it, but I'm sure somebody made it. And they're like, we're going to connect these old two technologies because somebody's going to use it. So it is what it is. But you can see that, and I don't know if that was accurate back then. I mean, heck, when was this written? Actually, it was August of 2023. So yeah, it looks like the base configuration was $1,900 back in 2022. Now, just to give some context, if we were to fast forward in time to look at the Dell Precision 5490, so not the 80, but the 90, we are looking at this particular configuration starts at almost $2,800, and it looks like it's on sale right now for almost $2,500. And with that, you essentially get what I have, which is the NVIDIA RTX 1080, probably older generation 6 gig dedicated internal graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM, which is, I was happy that the machine had 32 gigs of RAM. And I can't remember if mine came with 512 or a terabyte. So, but whatever. Either way, the SSD is upgradable. I'll say user upgradable. But the RAM is soldered on, which another thing where I'm just like, yep, get over it. Most people aren't swapping out RAM modules anyway. I know some of the new Dells have that CAM memory. I might put something on the screen, but and that's, if you care why RAM is soldered, Google it. That's all I'll say, Google it. But yeah, the RAM is soldered on my machine as well. And yeah, 32 gigs is more than enough. Now, I will say with my Precision 3470, the RAM is user upgradable and it came with 32, but that was a single 32 DIMM, and I put a second 32 DIMM in there. So that one has 64 gigs, but we're not here to talk about that. So why am I bringing this up today? I'm bringing it up because I wanted to talk about price and other things. Price and warranty, really, because when you do buy new stuff, you're like, okay, it's covered by whatever warranty. But if I buy it used, then clearly it's not going to be covered by whatever type of warranty. So if I come here and come to this screen, then I bring it over here. And yeah, we have 3 quick slides. So the first slide is, hey, Ben, how much did you pay for this back in 2022? A little over $1,100. And after tax, $1,200. Okay, cool. So clearly a savings from how much it would have been had I purchased it brand new. So I'm satisfied with that. $1,200, great. And have had it for over 2 years now and have had no issues. Now, as I just mentioned, you're like, oh, well, you bought it used. What happens if something goes wrong? Or you're worried about the warranty, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, valid questions, even though I said blah, 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 blah. But yeah, extremely valid questions. And that's one thing I like about, I don't want to say just Dell, but certain products. And I've had good experiences with Dell, with their support warranties for devices that I've purchased secondhand. So here you can see that my Precision 5470, the warranty started back in November 2022. So the month prior to me purchasing it. And it doesn't expire until November of 2026. A full 4-year warranty on this used item. So doesn't expire this year. No. Doesn't expire next year. No. It expires the year after that. So if you are considering buying used items, yes, sometimes you'll be able to just see the serial number, the service tag number, or whatever, and you can look it up yourself to see if it's still covered by warranty. Or if you're buying from a reputable seller, just ask them. And in this situation, I've had no issues with this machine, but I have had issues with a Dell desktop in the past, and it was used, but because it was still covered by the warranty, they sent out a tech, and they literally gave me a whole new motherboard for the machine. I mean, yeah, he did all the work, but he swapped out all the components, put a new motherboard in, did whatever he needed to do. It's good to go. Sad to say, years later, after that machine was in storage for a couple of years, something else went wrong, and it was no longer covered under warranty, but, no biggie. But for the time that was covered under warranty, yeah, came out, swapped the motherboard, everything was perfectly fine. But you have to ask yourself, are things always going to go well? The answer is no. Okay? The answer is flat out no. So here, if we come to this place, the Galaxy Book 4 Edge. I think literally today, as I'm recording this video, a video that I recorded a while ago, but scheduled to be released, I think it went live today, talking about my experiences with these Qualcomm laptops. They're fine. I mean, at this point in the game, I can't recommend them. I think I said I do like them and I own them, so I don't know if I'm going to keep them. But they're fine, and would I encourage or suggest or recommend somebody pay any of these prices? Like, heck, I think this is a new SKU. I don't think this was I don't think this Plus version has been available this entire time. Yeah, I don't think it has. And what they probably realized is that we don't need the most powerful version of the Elite chip in this thin laptop. Because there's just nothing really to do with it. I mean, I'm sure some reviewers have probably attempted to do some video editing or whatever. But long story short, I have had some issues with it. And I bought it used from somebody on eBay. And you know what? I didn't even check to see if it was covered under a warranty. I probably should and maybe could still do that. But it's not my backup laptop. It's not a tertiary laptop. It's like the 4th laptop in the totem pole for my use cases. I pretty much just watch movies on it because the screen is pretty nice. And I use headphones because the speakers are not. But I believe this version, the 1349 version, is the one that I have. And yeah, it's fine. And if I could tell you what the issues were, it's just simply after installing updates or sometimes installing software, because it's happened 2, maybe 3 times, you'd have to reboot the machine and it would just hang. Like, you would just have a black screen and nothing else would come on the screen. And eventually I was able to get into the BIOS / the recovery partition and wipe the machine and start over. Fortunately, like I said, I use it really just for watching movies, so there wasn't anything important on it. But yeah, that has happened twice. So what did I do? And just FYI, it's still this price at Best Buy. But over the past couple months, it's gone on sale like $400 off. I think 450 might have been the most. I forget exactly, but I don't think they're selling many of them. I mean, I'm happy to see that it's gotten relatively good ratings, but yeah, buying it at full price, absolutely not. But again, I digress back to my situation. So, Chris, we have the Dell information. Like I said, I didn't even check to see if it's still covered under Samsung's warranty. Just flat out didn't. But I did reach out to the seller, and if you can see, the original price was $725, and then after tax and shipping, it was something. But I'm pretty sure that the person, they gave me a partial refund. How much was it? I think it was like $100. Like, yeah, I think it was like a $100 partial refund or something. And at that point, I'm like, for almost 50% of the brand new price and for how little I actually use it, I was like, I'm good to go. So, all that to say, consider buying used stuff from reputable people, reputable sellers, and you might save yourself a bunch of money. One, because just the overall cost of the device is lower than had you bought it brand new. But two, in addition to the savings of the device from what it is just brand new, in this situation, I'm sure there was an added expense for this Pro Support Plus Dell support service option. So whatever that cost was when the person bought this machine brand new, I didn't have to pay for it. And now I still get to reap the benefits of it. And because it's a Windows machine that supports Windows 11, it's going to continue receiving support from Microsoft for who knows how long, and in this case, also from Dell, and we'll be good to go. So all that say, again, consider buying used products.